Hello students and welcome to Second Supervisors. My name is Professor Benjamin Smart. I am a professor at the University of Johannesburg and I co-direct the Center for Philosophy of Epidemiology, Medicine and Public Health. Bit of a mouthful, but we do some wonderful work. Okay, so why are we here? We are here to help maximize your potential, write that killer dissertation, get that distinction grade and get that PhD over the line. But today we're going to start on a slightly negative note insofar as we're going to try and tell you those things that you must avoid. What are the reasons why people get bad marks? What are the reasons why people fail? And there are 5 core reasons. We're going to go through them today, and stick around because we'll also tell you how to fix them. Okay, so reason number 1, poor planning. Okay, the very first thing you've got to do is plan your essay, plan your dissertation, plan your thesis. Do it really, really thoroughly. Okay, I'm talking about reading all the literature first. I'm talking about working out what your central thesis claim is. I'm talking about structuring your argument. Get all of that stuff in place before you put pen to paper. Do not sit down and just start writing. That's a terrible, terrible idea. You need to know what paragraph you're going to write, on what day, what the purpose of that paragraph is, and you need to signpost all the way through. You need to be able to say, when you start writing, in section 3.2, I'm going to address this. Okay, so number 1, poor planning. Fix it is good planning. Okay, number 2, poor literature engagement. Here's a common pattern. A student writes a whole chapter that summarizes what various people say, but never really shows how it connects to their project. Or worse, they simply miss a key paper that's absolutely central to the debate that they're looking at. So, for example, suppose you're writing on moral luck. If you're writing on moral luck, you need to mention Nagel. You need to mention Williams. If you don't, it's like writing a dissertation on evolution and not mentioning Darwin. You just got to do it. So don't just list the literature, argue with it. Ask, what's missing in this debate? Where do I disagree? And always ask your supervisor if you're missing anyone big. Engaging with your supervisor, that's what your supervisor's there for, right? You give them your work, you let them read your work, and then you discuss it and you say, what am I missing? What am I missing? Ask. Your supervisor should be able to help. Okay, next on the list, lack of clarity. This one's painful. A student might have some really good ideas, maybe even some original ones, but they're buried under fuzzy writing and tangled arguments. You can't tell what the central claim is. The sentences go on forever. The introduction promises one thing, but then something else entirely is delivered. That's no good. So, what do you do about it? Well, I say the first thing is to write down your central thesis claim in one clear sentence. Try to explain your argument to a friend, right? Without jargon. Philosophers actually aren't interested in jargon. We're interested in the arguments. We're interested in the claims. We're interested in whether you can justify those claims. Trying to sound smart isn't really what we're going for. We want to know whether you are smart. So if you can't explain it simply, chances are you don't fully understand it yet. Okay, number 4 on the list, logical fallacies and non sequiturs. This one's more common than you might think, okay? So by this stage, many of you will be either third-year undergraduates or engaging in postgraduate studies, so you should have a decent grasp of all the logical fallacies that there are in argumentation, and there are lots of them, okay? We're talking about vicious regresses, we're talking about begging the question, and so on. So, what do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need to make sure that you have shown what you're arguing rather than just said it, okay? So, map your argument out into propositional logic. See whether it's a modus ponens argument or a modus tollens argument. Ask a friend to play devil's advocate. If your argument falls apart, fix it before your examiner has to. Finally, and this is really the big one for failing. All the other ones, okay, you can sort of get away with and below PhD level, still pass your essay, but this one's a killer. Plagiarism. And unfortunately, we've entered a new era of plagiarism, the AI era. But let's deal with bog standard plagiarism that's been going on for decades first. Students will sometimes still copy paragraphs, even entire arguments, from published work, sometimes thinking, if I just tweak a few words, no one will notice. Newsflash, examiners know the key literature in their area. If you lift something from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy or from some published work, there's a very high chance your examiner will have read it, and it's very obvious. So the fix to this one, pretty obvious really, don't copy ever. Quote and cite. And to be honest, showing that you know the literature, showing that you understand and have engaged with the literature is really going to help you. Your examiner wants you to engage with the literature. So if you like someone's idea, explain it in your own words and say where it's from. That will add marks rather than make you fail. Now, the big one, the rise of AI. Now, I think AI is going to revolutionize the way academia is done. I honestly think that in 5 years' time, even the top professional academics will be relying to some extent on artificial intelligence. But right now, it is probably the #1 reason students are failing, because students are just putting their essay questions into ChatGPT, generating answers, and then copying and pasting them out. LLMs write bland, generic philosophy. They often hallucinate sources or invent plausible sounding nonsense. Your writing has a tone, your voice has a tone, and AI doesn't match it. If you write, it's not even writing, if you get ChatGPT or some other AI to generate your work, copy and paste it, you're going to get caught. And even if you didn't, it would be rubbish. So sure, use AI. Seriously, it's the future of academia, but use it ethically. Use it for brainstorming, outlining, clarifying your structure, maybe even looking at work. Upload your dissertation and ask it for feedback, and some of the feedback will probably be nonsense, but some of it might be useful. Sure, use it, but use it ethically. Always make sure the final words are yours. If you're writing a dissertation or planning to, keep these 5 dangers in mind, and you should be okay. And if you want extra help, we've got a website, link in the description below, a lot of free resources to help you write your dissertations, and please put in the comments below any questions you might have, and we might even cover it in a future video.